Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, okay. I think now I came back as a host. Okay, it's recording now. Okay. Okay, let's start now then. So I was talking about the Gita. The first 6 chapters is about Jiva Sadhana, right? We have Sankhya, we had Yoga, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, all the way up to Dhyana. 6th chapter is about Dhyana, the Samadhi Yoga. So then the natural question after that is, what is the object of that Dhyana, right? The object of that, it's not you. The object is not you, right? Even though in many schools of thought, you are the object of your meditation.
If you leave the camera, that's how we will see.
Can you guys please mute? Or maybe I can do it now since I'm in. I don't know. Right, and so so I was asking, the question is the what is the first Atma that we all know? You can unmute and answer.
Jivatma.
Even before that, everybody has the knowledge of this Atma, the first Atma. What is that? No, not Paramatma. It's the body, right? I mean, body is our first Atma. Even if you don't have any knowledge, anybody, what do you consider as I? The first I that everybody knows is one's body, right? And that's why if you look at the Upanishad, in the Chandogya Upanishad, Indra and Virochana. Indra is the king of Devas. Virochana is the king of Asuras. Both of them want to learn Brahma Jnana, so they go to Brahma and ask him, what is this Paramatma? So he says, look at the mirror, and whatever is reflected on that is the Paramatma. And so Indra looks at it, and Virochana looks at it. Both of them see their physical form. And so both of them understand that, oh, this body is the Paramatma. Both of them, and then they go away. But Indra then gets it down. No. The body gets diseased. The body, is disfigured, and all of those things dies. So that cannot be Paramatma. So then he goes back. But the Upanishad says that Virochana does not go back. He thinks the body itself is Paramatma, and they start worshipping the body. And that's one school, that's the Asuric way of understanding. And that is, the body itself is the Atma. That is the first one. Okay. Yeah, please, everybody mute yourself, please. Mute yourself. Okay. And so, so the first Atma that everybody knows is one's body, right? After that, then when you do the first 6 chapters, which is the Jiva Sadhana, then the first thing that Krishna says in the 2nd chapter is what? That it is not the body, the real Atma is the Jivatma, right? That's what you hear in the first part of the Sankhya Yoga. And then as you move from that one, the final Atma is, and actually after that, what is the Atma? And even before Jivatma, it's the body is the first Atma. The Ahankara, the concept of I, right? The idea of I, the ahankara, that is the second atma. And then when you break the idea of yourself, it's the concept of me, my legacy, what I have done, that's in Sanskrit, it's called kirti, my name recognition, right? So that is the second atma, that's called ahankara. And then once you grow out of ahankara, then you come to jivatma as the third atma. And then after that, you grow to the final one is Paramatma. So there are actually 4 atmas, right? When everybody knows one atma, which is one's body, then the second atma is one's ego, right? The concept of I. Third atma is jivatma. So that's not natural. That requires sadhana to understand it. And the fourth atma is the final, the one that we all have to understand, and that is Paramatma, right? So there are 4 atmas. Any questions so far? Right? So now, coming back to Dhyana Yoga, the natural question is, when you are doing Dhyana, what is the object of that meditation? It is not your body, it's not that Atma, it's not your ego, it's not that Atma, it's not Jivatma, then it is Paramatma, right? The final meditation, the final sadhana that anybody has to do is actually on Paramatma. So that is why the second 6 chapters of the Gita is about Paramatma, right? First 6 chapters is Jiva Sadhana. So 7, 8, 9 that we have done so far, we have learned about Paramatma, the nature of Paramatma, what he is, and all of those things. And then the 10th chapter and the 11th chapter is exclusively on what should I meditate? What is the object of my meditation? That is the core of the teaching of 10th chapter, and especially the 11th chapter, the Vishwarupa Darshana, is what is the object? How do I visualize that form? In what things should I visualize and meditate? So it's all about meditation from 10th chapter and the 11th chapter. It's all about what is going to be our object of meditation, right? So now, what we have learned in the 9th chapter, so you'll have to unmute, so you have to, so that you can answer the question. See, the 9th chapter is called what? Raja Guhya Yoga. It's the kingly secret, which means it's the highest secret, and it is also the central chapter of the Gita. Right? It's the 9th chapter. Of the 18th chapter, 9th chapter is in the center of the Gita. And in that Krishna says, I am teaching you a very secret knowledge. What is that secret knowledge he's taught in the 9th chapter? Yeah, you can unmute and answer.
Sunil, you explained the formula, which was, you gave many different examples. One of the examples you gave was, Brahma, Jiva, and Jada. And the example was Brahma, Agni, and fire. Agni was the Jiva, and then the fire was the Jada. The fire by itself does not burn, and Agni also cannot burn unless with the support of Brahma.
Not just support, it is the work of Brahma. The work of Brahma. So what he said in the 9th chapter is, if you have to remember 9th chapter, one line is what? There is only one Paramatma. There is no 2 Paramatmas, 10 Paramatmas, 100 Paramatmas. There is only one Paramatma. Everything else is Jiva, right? From Prakriti, who is always unbound Jiva, right? She is not in samsara. She is the one that causes samsara. So there is no samsara to Prakriti itself. But other than Prakriti, from Brahma down to the blade of grass, I mean, now we can say to coronavirus, right? All of them are Jivas. They're all Jivas, right? So everything, there is only one Paramatma, and all of these are all of the infinite Jivas. So that is one of the biggest things that Krishna says in the 9th chapter. The other thing is, every worship that anybody does to any of the devatas can just take that worship as a guru and not Paramatma, because they are not Paramatma. So what they take it as is, this is what the Antaryami, the God in me, has made me do. So this really, all worship really goes to who? The Paramatma. The worship does not go to the deity. The worship goes to the Paramatma. The deities know that. But the one who is doing the prayer should know it. If they do it knowingly, then that is jnana. If they don't do it, then that is not jnana. Right? So these are the important points that Krishna says. Every worship is the worship of Paramatma. There is no other worship. Even though in your mind, you might be thinking that you are worshipping not just the deities, you might be worshipping Kshudra Shaktis, you can be worshipping Asuras, you can be worshipping men. Any worship that you do, any praise, anything that you do of anybody other than the Paramatma, the object of that is always going to be Paramatma, because every worship goes back to Paramatma. But if in our mind we don't understand that, then that worship will have no fruits for us. Right? So that is what is the central meaning of the message of the 9th chapter. Right? That all worship goes to Paramatma and there is only one Paramatma. So the question is, are we polytheistic, monotheistic, henotheistic, whatever theistic? What are we?
Mano.
There is only one theism, which means there is only one Paramatma. Right? I mean, of course, if you say Deva equal God, Paramatma equal God, then everything is God. But the only real equivalent, I mean, even though there is no equivalent, but some way of conveying that message in English, God with a capital G is Paramatma and not Devas. Right? There's only one Paramatma. There are many Devas. There are many Asuras. There are many infinite Asuras, infinite Devas, infinite Manushyas. But there is only always one Paramatma. Is that clear?
Monotheistic but pluralistic is what I would say.
What is that?
Monotheistic but pluralistic.
Okay, what do you mean by pluralistic?
Means we allow, we are happy to let others do what they want to do.
Of course, yeah. Yeah, of course, right? I mean, you are, whatever anybody wants to do, it is their karma, right? That's what we say.
So that's what pluralism would be. So we are pluralistic but monotheistic, you can say.
Philosophically, we are monotheistic in the sense that we understand, there's no faith here. We understand that there can only be one Paramatma. There will never be two Paramatmas, three Paramatmas. The Trinity concept is not there. The Trinity concept is only the Adityas, the Vasus, and the Rudras. As the government of the world, there are these three, creation, sustenance, and destruction. That is what the three is. That is how the world is taken care of. That does not reflect that there are going to be three Paramatmas. There are no three Paramatmas. There is only one Paramatma. And Krishna is very clear, as we have seen in the 9th chapter. There is one Paramatmas. There are infinite Devas, in the sense that in all time there are infinite Devas. But in a given time, there are a set of Devas. They are in charge of the world government. And then there are set of Asuras, there are set of Manushyas in that creation. But over time, in all time, there are infinite Daivi Shaktis, there are infinite Asuri Shaktis, there are infinite Manushya Shaktis. Okay. So that's what we have learned in, okay, let me see, there's a lot of messages coming in. What's going on? Okay. So with that, let's move to the 10th chapter. So in the 9th chapter, Krishna said, I am the Paramatma, and there's only one Paramatma, and all worship goes to Paramatma. Then the question is, how do we visualize and conceive of it, right? And until the 9th chapter, it's always been kind of a philosophy, right? The first 6 chapters is about Jiva Sadhana. It's a philosophy. And the next 3 chapters, 7, 8, 9, is about the nature of Paramatma. Still, it's philosophy. Now you have to make it kind of historical, right? The 10th chapter brings the history, the Pauranika history of how the world started, how creation started, who are the ones who are in charge of creation. So all of those things, Krishna starts with a kind of a Pauranika history. I mean, Pauranika history is not human history, right? Pauranika history is celestial history. That's even before creation, things that happen, and then after creation, the things that happen, and then Manu came, and then all of the mankind's history is different history. This is Pauranika history. The Pauranika history is more of celestial, more of astronomical, celestial kind of history. So now he has to bring that philosophy and connect that to the history of the world in terms of how it was created. Why he's doing is every one of the figures in history, in the Pauranika history, who is the doer of something, the creator of something. In the real fact, Krishna is saying, I did it as their Antaryami, not them. They had that awareness. I know that. You should know that. Right? So that is what Krishna is, when he is bringing this to history, what his thinking here is, you need to understand history from the point of view of this philosophy that I have taught you. We have seen history from the point of view of, hey, these guys have done this. But now you have to kind of retune that history, reorient that history to the philosophy that you have learned. And that one is what? That Paramatma is the only real doer, independent doer. Everything else, everybody else are dependent doers. Right? So when anybody says Brahma created, it is true. But Brahma himself is the instrument. So who is the real creator? Paramatma is the real creator. Right? So there's a beautiful mantra and I keep mentioning this in the Kathopanishad, where he says, the light of the sun, na tatra suryo bhati, na chandra tarakam, nemaha vidyuto bhanti, kutoyam agnihi, tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam, tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. The whole of Vibhuti Yoga is an explanation of this mantra. What it says is, the sun does not shine me, right? It's not, so I cannot rely on the sun. That means, your physical form of the Paramatma, nobody else can get. The sun does not show me. The moon, na chandra tarakam, the moon or the starlight is not going to show the Paramatma to you. Nema imaha vidyuto bhanti. The light of the lightning is not going to show that Paramatma to you. Why? It says, tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam. Because the light itself that is coming out of the sun, moon, stars, and the lightning is his light. How will this light show him? Right? Tasya bhasa sarvam idam vibhati. Because he is lighted up, everything lights up. So how is this dependent light going to show you the independent light? The beautiful, this is the most beautiful Kathopanishad mantra. I keep mentioning it so many times, you might remember this. So now that in one mantra, what Krishna has, what in the Kathopanishad, what has been said, Krishna is now saying that we might know, Brahma is the great, the creator, Shiva is the destroyer, all of these, devatas are controlling all these different physical phenomena in the world. We know that, but remember, if that is the function that they're doing, like the light, it is not their light. It is my reflected light that they are doing this. So now, after this chapter, when somebody says Brahma is a creator, naturally in your mind, you should think that he is the instrument, the reflected light of the real creator, Paramatma, Krishna. That reorientation is what Krishna is going to bring in this chapter. right? So tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam. Anubhati means what? Anusarana. His light, every other light follows his light, right? Tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam. Tasya bhasa sarvam idam vibhati. It is his light that everything else reflects. So there are two things here in the last part where it says tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. That means there are some which are not good reflectors. See, sun is the same, right? If a good reflector reflects a lot of light, if it is a bad reflector, it doesn't reflect any light. If it just absorbs, it is just black. Is it the problem the sun or the reflector? What is the problem of?
The reflector.
The reflector, right? So now Krishna says, sun is the same. But then, if the asura is asura, he is a poor reflector. If the deva is deva, see, divu is also means light. That means he is a reflector of Paramatma's light. He is a better reflector. Manushas are kind of small reflectors. So, in this one, in this imagery, what Krishna is saying is the best reflectors are the greatest jivas, and that's what he's going to mention in this in this chapter. Like he says, among all of the Pandavas, I am Arjuna, he says, which means he is the best reflector of Paramatma, right? And among all of the warriors, I am Kartikeya, he says. That means in that position, he is the best reflector. So Kartikeya is a great general of the Devas, not because of Kartikeya's own, the nature. Of course, he's a good reflector, but the real power is what? The real power is the light that he is reflecting. So that is what you have to understand. The greatness of Kartikeya as the general of the Devas is not of the Kartikeyas, but it's of Paramatmas. Right? So that is what is very important. I think in Muslims, they have this, whenever you say, they say, Subhanallah, or, they say, that is something that we need in Hinduism. Because it should reflect that the greatness that we see, there should be a way of saying that is the greatness and the glory of God, whose reflection is what we are seeing. And that's what Krishna says that in this chapter. That all of these are reflectors. The real glory is the glory of God. It's the glory of God that is reflected by all of these individuals that Krishna is going to name in this chapter. So far, so good? Okay. So now let's start with the first shloka in the 10th chapter. He says, Bhuya eva mahabaho shruno me paramam vachaha yatteham priyamanaya vakshami hitakamyaya. Let me share you just for a second. Can you see the Vibhuti?
Yes, Sunil, we can see it.
Right. So here, Bhuya eva mahabaho shrunu me paramam vachaha yatte aham priyamanaya vakshami hitakamyaya. Just wanted to show you how a tippani or a bhashya looks. So here, see, Shashte Adhyaye Dhyana Yoga Uktaha. Whatever I've explained, it says in the 6th chapter, Dhyana Yoga has been said. Navama Ante Cha Manmana Bhava Madbhakta. That's the last verse, last shloka of the 9th chapter says, your mind should always be occupied in me. It should always be focused on me. Ityadina. Tadhyanam smarayati. So it says the last shloka of the 9th chapter is remembering this, the 6th chapter, where it says that your mind should always be on Paramatma. Then he says, Ato tacha dhyaya sapeksham, which means what is the dhyaya vastu? What is the object of this? Sapeksham. It needs a dhyaya, an object of meditation. Right? I'm here. Tacha dhyaya sapeksham. Ataha, therefore, dhyanartham, for meditation, Bhagavat Vibhuti Rupani, all of these forms that Paramatma is going to explain in this, Atra Adhyaye, Agre, in this chapter, in the shloka, in the future, in the coming shloka, Hantate Katayishyami Ityadina, Prachuryena. That means in previous chapters, Krishna has already mentioned, Rasoham Apsu, I am in this, I am in that, and all of this. He's already mentioned, on all these different chapters. In the 9th chapter, he has mentioned that. In the 7th chapter, he has mentioned that. But Prachuryana means in more detail, because this chapter is for that, for the details of this object of worship, for visualization. He says, Prachuryana vakshan adav buddhyadinam maharshadinam samarthya atishaya upetataya nirmana rupam vishesha karanatvam cha bhagavato bhakti. So he's going to talk about the rishis and then the manus and all of those things. So for that, to explain in detail the forms through which he manifests in this world, he talks about Sapta Rishis and the Manus and all that in the future shlokas. So this is how the commentary is. Now can you kind of link what I say in English to what this commentary, which is 500 years old, is talking about? So it's not it's not my intelligence. I'm not coming up with this. This is my source. This is where it comes from, right? Or I'm putting the words, but the core message is from here.
So you read Sanskrit like this very effortlessly without any problem?
Yeah.
Like you are, okay.
He's reflecting.
I'm reflecting. I'm reflecting that. But look at the beauty of how he explains. 6th chapter talks about dhyana. Then you need to know what is the object of that dhyana to help visualize. In the 10th chapter, Krishna talks about all of these forms so that you can take one of these forms as a visualization and carry on your meditation. That is the object of this chapter. Beautifully explained.
So has he written in Kannada also?
No,
Same thing?
Samskrita.
So all the commentary he wrote is in Samskrita.
Yes.
Okay.
But it is in Kannada translation is available.
Yeah, Kannada translation is available. Yeah.
This is the book. This is called Gita Vivritti. Gita Vivritti by Raghavendra Swami. That is the one. So that this is with the translation, and what I'm showing you is the this has Samskrita and Kannada is also there, but the commentary was originally written in Sanskrit. Okay, so now let's go back to the shloka. Here it says, Bhuya eva mahabaho shruname paramam vachaha. It's kind of intriguing what Krishna is saying here, because see, if you look at all of Indian tradition, the guru does not give knowledge to the shishya openly. They wait for a long time, and it's called the adhikari, right? The concept of adhikara is yogyata. Do you have the fitness in you to receive that knowledge? If you look at all of the Upanishads, in the Prashna Upanishad, when the 6 rishis go to Pipalada says, 1 year, 1 samvatsara, 1 year. Oh, I think we are running out of time. So I'll have to have a second session that I have to send. So Pipalada says that you serve here in this ashrama for 1 year, and in the end of it, if I know answers to your questions, I will answer, he says. So that means the concept here is not only Shishya Yogyata, but also Guru Yogyata, right? Some people's, their kirti, their reputation is more than the reality. So if you are with somebody for 1 year, then you will know really if he knows or not to me. So the Shishyas will know if the Guru knows. And the Guru will know if the Shishyas are really fit to get the answer. So this 1 year of going back and forth and then serving and being together, even without answering one question, is for not just for the Guru to know the Yogyata of the Shishyas, but also for the Shishyas to know the Yogyata of the Guru. Is Guru really what he is famous for? Or what is the reality? The Shishyas should know that. And the Guru should know the reality of what Shishya's Yogyata is. So when both of them are correct, then this knowledge transmission can happen.
Sunil, can you tell me where I can find this?
What?
This Pipalada, this quote.
This is in the Shat Prashna Upanishad.
Okay.
In the Shat Prashna Upanishad, 6 rishis, that Shat Prashna means 6 questions. So 6 rishis have 1 question each. So there are 6 questions. And they, they've heard that Pipalada is a great rishi. So they go to Pipalada, and Pipalada says that, you have to spend 1 year with me in my ashrama. And in the end, if I know, it doesn't even say, I will answer all the questions. It says, if I know answers to that question, I will try to answer it.
That shows great humility also.
Awesome. Yeah, of course. So now, if you look at this, what Krishna is saying is the opposite of that. Krishna is saying, Arjuna didn't even ask. He's saying, Bhuya eva mahabhoho shruname paramam vachaha. You hear, I'm going to tell you even more. I'm going to tell you even more. Again, more information, he's saying. Without even Arjuna asking, the Guru is giving more information here. Why do you think that is?
Because he's Adhikari.
Of course, he's Adhikari. Then there is another psychology here. See, in the second line, he says, Yatteham priyamanaya vakshami hitakamyaya. You are priyamanaya. Priyamanaya means?
You are close to me.
No. Priyaman means one who loves listening to me.
Okay.
Priyaman means who loves listening to. That means that's the psychology of the audience, right? I mean, if all of you are yawning, do you think I'll get my motivation to continue and give you more information? No. But if you are asking me awesome questions and you look all interested, let's do it another hour and all that, then I'll say, you know what, let me also bring this subject, let me add more, right? So that is what Krishna is saying, Arjuna, priyamanaya, whatever I'm saying, you're taking it with so much love and so much enthusiasm that I want to tell you more. So he says, Bhuya eva mahabaho shrunume paramam vachaha. Paramam vachaha. So what I'm going to tell you is the highest, because it is about the dhyana, which is the highest of the sadhana, right? Shravana, manana, didhyasa. So Shravana, manana, dhyana. Dhyana is the end of the quest. So I'm going to tell you this, the end of the quest, right? So why am I telling you more and more? Because you are priyamanaya. Whatever I am telling you, you are loving it and latching on to it, and you show so much motivation and interest to learn that I will tell you even more. He says, Bhuya eva. I'm going to tell you again and again, more and more, so that you learn more and more from me. Why am I doing that? Not just for priyamanaya, not just because you are interested. Of course, you have the yogyata and you are interested. Hitakamyaya, because I desire your hita. What is your hita? What does hita mean?
Welfare.
What does, in Samskrita, what is the difference between priya, shriya, hita?
Yogakshema?
For your goodness, for your...
No, priya means what? Priya means what?
Favorite.
love.
Priya, which makes the Priya, which you love it, and Hita makes you, more comfort to the soul. What we call Hita is more towards the soul. Priya is more towards the the human reflection.
Kind of, right? Because go back to the Kathopanishad, Shreyas and Preyas,
Yes.
right? Preyas is what? Sensory. Eating ice cream is Shreyas or Preyas?
Shreyas.
Preyas, Preyas.
Preyas.
Preyas means Priya, Priya.
Priya, sorry.
Priya means that which pleases your senses.
Yeah.
Like that's why I said, right? Don't call your wife Priya, Preyasi. That means only sensory level. You should say Shreyasi. Shreyasi means
Depends on
that.
the wife. Depends on
Huh?
the kind of wife, I guess.
That's also right. So here, Hita means what? Hita is Shreyas.
Nice. Yeah.
Hita means Hita can be Priya or Apriya. That means sometimes, of course, most of the times Hita is always Apriya, right? It's like medication. It doesn't taste good. It doesn't taste good, so that means it's Apriya, but it's good for you. That means it's Shriya. So it's Shreyas. So Hitakamyaya means that it is for your Shreyas. It's for your ultimate good. It's not for your your short-term goodness. It's for the ultimate long-term good, for your real good. It might in the short interval may be bad for you, may be hard for you, but is in the long run good for you. Anything like that is called Shreyas. And that is Hita. Hita is Shreyas. So here he's saying, I am telling you more and more. I'm telling you about my forms so that you can do the dhyana. Because not only because of your yogyata, because you are listening to it with a lot of motivation, a lot of good interest. I'm telling you because I desire your well-being, your long-term well-being, because of your yogyata. He says that in the end, in the 16th chapter, he says, Daivi Shrey, Daivi Sampat Vimokshaya. So where it says, you are born with Daivi Sampat. That means you are born and you are, so that you are en route to moksha. So you are going to be mukta, and therefore he's saying, for that I'm going, because you have the yogyata, you are that good reflector, I'm going to tell you more and more. Okay, so there's about 1 minute remaining. So what I'll do is I'm going to stop recording now, open a new session and send you the link so we can all join. That's going to be another 40 minutes. So we can do another session for 40 minutes.
Sounds good.
Sounds good?
Sounds good.
Okay.